To make our Hello Kitty bag charm, we'll be using a crochet hook, a pair of scissors, pink, red, white, and black yarn, stuffing, stitch markers, 2 eyes and 1 nose. These here are plastic, but you can make some out of felt or any kind of fabric. We'll also be using a darning needle, and you'll also need a pair of pliers if you have a metal bag clip or a metal jump ring. To make the stitches easier to view, we used a 3.5mm yarn. To make this smaller bag charm, we used the same pattern, but we used this 1.5mm cording in various colors. I haven't seen these in the craft stores, but they are available online. You can find the link in our description bar. The stitches we will be using in this video include a magic circle, a single crochet, double crochet, half double crochet, a slip stitch, and a chain stitch. To make the head, we're going to start with 6 chains. We're going to make a slip knot, and then we're going to get our hook and make 6 chains. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. For our first row, we're going to chain 1 and then make 14 single crochets. There's 1, and then we're going to add in our stitch marker. Two, 3, 4, 5, and in this top stitch we're going to do number 6, 7, and 8. There's 6, 7, and number 8. Then we're going to move on to stitch number 9. 10, 11, 12, 'and in this last stitch we're going to do number 13 and number 14. Now we've completed row number 2. Let's count our crochets. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. For row number 2, we're going to start with 6 single crochets. Here's crochet number 1. And of course we're going to add our stitch marker. Crochet number 2, number 3, number 4, oops, number 5, and there's crochet number 6. And in this top stitch here, we're going to be doing 3 single crochets and this 1 stitch. So we're going to be doing crochet number, here we go, number 7, number 8, and crochet number 9, all in this 1 top stitch. And then we're going to continue with stitch number 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Now that we're in this final stitch, we're going to do another 3 single crochets and 1 stitch. So in this top stitch here, we're going to do 3 crochets. So that's number 16, 17, and crochet number 18. And now we're finished with row number 3. Let's count our crochets. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and number 18. Now we're ready for row number 3. Again, we're going to start with 6 single crochets. There's our first crochet. We're going to get our stitch marker and mark that. Then we're going to do our second, third, fourth, fifth, and this is our 6th single crochet. In the next 3 stitches, we're going to do increases. Here's our first increase, our second increase, and now we're on our 3rd increase. Then we're going to do 6 single crochets. There's crochet number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then our 6th single crochet. And then in our last 3 stitches, we're going to do increases. There's our first increase, our second increase, and finally our 3rd increase. Let's count our stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and number 24. For row number 4, we're going to start with 7 single crochets. There's 1. We're going to add in our stitch marker, of course. We have 2. And now we're going to speed this up. And like magic, we're on crochet number 7. And then we're going to do a sequence of an increase and a single crochet, and we're going to do that twice. So here's our increase to a single crochet, then an increase, and then a single crochet. Then we're going to do an increase, and then we're going to do 7 single crochets going across, and these will be crochets number 16 through 22. And now we're on crochet number 22, and the next crochets we're going to do an increase and a single crochet twice. So there's our increase, a single crochet, and an increase, to a single crochet, and we're going to end with an increase. We're coming up to a knot in our yarn. And with this crochet, we're finished with our increase and with row number 4. For row number 5, we're going to again start with 7 single crochets. There's our first crochet, and we want to make sure that our knot is in the inside. And we're going to put in our stitch marker, and we're going to go into our second crochet and then speed this up. Now we're on our 7th single crochet, and then we're going to move on to the sequence of an increase and 2 single crochets, and we're going to do it twice. So here is our increase, and then 2 single crochets. There's 1 and 2. Then we're going back to doing an increase, and then 2 single crochets, and then we're going to do an increase, then we're going to do 8 single crochets, which are number 18 through 25. And now we're on crochet number 25, and then we're going to do an increase and 2 single crochets. There's 1 and 2 single crochets, and we're going to repeat that again. So we're going to do an increase and 2 single crochets. There's 1 and 2. Then we're going to do an increase and we're going to end with a single crochet. And now we're done with row number 5. Okay, and let's count our crochets. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and number 36. For row number 6, we're going to do 36 crochets all the way around. We're going to start with our first crochet, and we're going to add in our stitch marker. And then we're going to continue until we get to 36 single crochets. And like magic, we're finished with our 36 crochet, and we're finished with row number 6. For row number 7, we're going to start with 10 single crochets. There's our first crochet, and then we're going to put our lovely stitch marker on that crochet. And then we're just going to continue until we reach 10 single crochets. And now we're on our 10th crochet, and we're going to do an increase and then 2 single crochets, then an increase, and then we're going to do 14 single crochets. There's our first single crochet, and we're just going to continue until we have 14 single crochets. And like magic, we're done with our 14th single crochet. Now we're moving on to an increase, then 2 single crochets, and next we're going to do an increase, and then 4 single crochets. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's count our crochets. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, and then 40. For rows 8, 9, 10, and 11, we're going to do 40 crochets all the way around. We're going to put our stitch markers in, our first crochets, and when we get 4 of them, then we know we're done with all 4 rows. So we're just going to continue this until we have 4 rows of 40. And like magic, we finished all 4 of our rows of 40 single crochets, and we're ready to move on to row number 12, which begins our decreases. For row number 12, we're going to start with 12 single crochets. There's 1, and of course we're going to add our lovely stitch marker on that first stitch, and then from this point we're going to go on until we reach 12 single crochets. And once we've gotten up to our 12th single crochet, we're going to do a decrease and a single crochet. So we're doing our decrease and then a single crochet, and then we're going to repeat this, a decrease and then a single crochet. Then we're going to do a decrease and then we're going to go into 12 single crochets. There's crochet number 1. We're going to speed it up. And once we get up to our 12th crochet, we're going to do a decrease and a single crochet, and we're going to do this twice. So we have our decrease, then our single crochet, then we're going to do a decrease, and a single crochet. Then finally we're going to end with a decrease. And now we're finished with our row number 12, and we're going to count our crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, and number 34. For row number 13, we're going to do 34 single crochets all the way around. We'll start with our first single crochet, and of course we're going to add our stitch marker here, and then we're just going to continue until we make 34 single crochets. And once we completed all 34 single crochets, we're ready to move on to row number 14. For row number 14, we're going to start with a decrease, and then we're going to move on. Let's put in our stitch marker, and then we're going to move on to 9 single crochets. There's 1, and then we're just going to continue. After our 9th single crochet, we're going to do a decrease and a single crochet 2 times. So we're going to do a decrease, then a single crochet, then again a decrease, and a single crochet. Then we're going to do a decrease, and then we're going to do 9 single crochets. There's 1, and like magic, we finished crochet number 9. Now we're going to do a decrease and a single crochet twice. There's our decrease and a single crochet. Then we're going to do a decrease and end with a single crochet. And now we're finished with row number 14. Let's count our crochets. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and number 28. For row number 15, we're going to start by making a single crochet. Let's make our first single crochet in the right crochet stitch. There's our first crochet, and we're going to put in our stitch marker. And next we're going to do a decrease. And then we're going to do 6 single crochets. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then we're going to do a decrease and a single crochet 2 times. So we're going to do a decrease and a single crochet, and we're going to repeat that with a decrease and a single crochet. Next, we're going to do a decrease and then move on to 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then we're going to do a decrease Then we're going to move on to doing a single crochet, and we're going to end with a decrease. And now we're finished with row number 15. Now we're ready to count our crochets. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and number 22. For row number 16, we're going to start with the sequence of 2 single crochets and a decrease. So we're going to do our first single crochet, and of course we're going to add our stitch marker to that single crochet. Then we're going to do another single crochet and then a decrease. And we're going to repeat this sequence. There's our first single crochet, our second single crochet, and then a decrease. Next, we're going to do a single crochet, and then we're going to do a decrease. Then again, we're going to do 2 single crochets and a decrease. So we're going to do 1 and 2 single crochets, then a decrease, and then we're going to do that again. So 1, 2 single crochets, and then a decrease. And now we have 2 crochets left, and we're going to end with a decrease. Now we've completed row number 16, and let's count our crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and number 16. Before moving on, we're going to stuff our head. So we're just going to place stuffing inside of our head until it's nice and firm. As we continue to stuff our head, we want to shape it so that it looks like Hello Kitty's big head. Then continue to stuff and shape. And once we have enough stuffing in the head and the shape is nice and looks like Hello Kitty, we're ready to move on to our final crochets. For row number 17, we're going to do a decrease and a single crochet, and we're going to do this 5 times around and end with a single crochet. So we're going to start with our decrease. Let's put our stitch marker in that decrease. Then we're going to do a single crochet, and we're going to do this all the way around. So here's our single crochet, and then a decrease, and again the single crochet, and we're going to do this sequence another 3 more times. And now we're finishing the 5th sequence of a decrease and a single crochet, and we're just going to end with a single crochet. And now we're finished with row number 17, and we're just going to cut our yarn, pull it through, and then we're going to finish it off. To finish off, we're going to get a darning needle, and we're going to go through the first stitch, and then next we're going to just go through the outer stitch of each crochet. So up on the outer stitch, then down on the next stitch, just the outside loop, and then we're going up on that outside loop, then down that outside loop, and we're just going to alternate just like this until we get to the end. Once we get to the final stitch, we're going to pull our yarn, and that will close our hole. Once the hole is closed all the way, we're just going to go down one of the stitches and push it through the head until we reach the top. Once we reach the top, we're going to pull the yarn out, and then we're going to press down a little bit and just cut the yarn. And now we're basically done with Hello Kitty's head. We just need the 2 ears. To make our ears, we're going to start with a magic circle, and inside the magic circle we're going to make 6 single crochets. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now we're going to pull our tail to bring all of the crochets together. And now we're done with our first row. For our next row, we're going to do a single crochet and an increase, and we're going to do this 3 times. So we're going to start with our single crochet, and we're going to put a stitch marker on this first single crochet. Then we're going to do an increase in our next stitch. Then we're going to do a single crochet, then a increase, oops, there's our increase, then to a single crochet, then we're going to end on an increase. There's one and then two for our increase. Let's count our crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. For row number 3, we're going to do 9 single crochets all the way around. Here's our first single crochet. We're going to put our stitch marker in there. And now we're just going to make 8 more single crochets all the way around till we have 9 single crochets. And once we have completed our 9th single crochet, we're ready to move on to our next row. I'm just going to flip the ear so that it's easier to crochet. For this last row, we're going to do 2 single crochets and an increase, and we're going to do this 3 times. There's our first crochet, and we're going to put in our stitch marker. Then we're going to go into our second crochet, and then we're going to do an increase, and then again we're going to go into doing our 2 single crochets. There's 1, 2 single crochets, and then an increase, and we have one more sequence of this. So we're going to do our 2 single crochets. There's 1, 2, and here we're going to end on an increase. And now we're finished with that row. Let's count our crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And now that we're finished with our row, we're going to cut off the tail and pull it through. To finish it off, we're going to take a darning needle. We're going to skip the first crochet. We're going to go into the outer loop of the second crochet, pull it through, and then we're going to go back into the inner loop of that first crochet and pull it through. And then we have what looks like a crochet stitch, but it makes the ear more even and easier to sew on. And now we're going to make a second ear since we need 2 ears. I have already added an ear to the head of the Hello Kitty. The ear starts on the last stitch on the top of her head. And then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches down, and that's the bottom of the ear. So we're going to do the same on the other ear. We're going to place the ear on top of the head with the top of the ear at the last stitch on the top of her head. Once it's in place, I'm going to hold it using a small knitting needle. I have it poked in the top of the ear. It's going to go through the head and keep the ear in place. To double check, I'm just going to make sure that the bottom of the ear is on the same row as the other ear, and it is. So now we're ready to sew on the ear. I've attached a darning needle at the end of the tail, and I'm going to place the needle through the last stitch on the top of her head, and I'm going to put it through the next stitch on the head. And now I'm going to put the needle through the first stitch on the top of the ear. Following the same pattern, I'm going to go through the next 2 stitches on her head, and then through the next stitch on the ear. I'm going to continue to stitch through the head and then stitch through the ear all the way around her ear. As you can see, I'm going 1 row below where the ear sits. This allows the ear to stretch out a little bit. That way it won't sit so narrow and pointed. As we come towards the bottom of the ear, we want to make sure we're on that same row as the other ear. We're going to continue until we get to the end. Once I've sewn all the way around the ear, I'm going to poke the needle into one of the stitches at the base of the ear and then pull it through the top of the ear. And now I'm going to cut the tail off. And now we're done with adding Hello Kitty's ears. And next we're going to work on her face. Now that we've attached the ears to Hello Kitty's head, we're ready to make her face. We're going to start with the whiskers. We have black yarn attached to a darning needle, and then we're going to insert it one row below the ear, count 4 rows across, and go 1 row down. And then we're going to go back to the starting of the whisker and then put our needle through that and then go 2 rows down from the first whisker. This whisker we're just going to go straight across. Then from here we're going to go 2 rows down and 4 rows across and go through that hole. All the ends of the whiskers should line up. Now we're going to place the end of this whisker 1 row down and then line them up with the other whiskers, and then we're going to go all the way back up to that first whisker. Once we have all 3 whiskers done, we're going to take the 2 tail ends. I like to cut them to the same length, and then we're just going to tie them both into a knot. And we want to have the knot as close to the face as possible and as small as possible. Then again, we're going to cut the tail ends of the yarn as close as we can to the knot. And once we have that done, we're just going to press the knot into the head. And now we're done with one side of the whiskers, and we're going to do the other side. Now that we're done with the whiskers on both sides of the face, we're going to add the eyes and the nose. I'll be using these plastic eyes and nose. For the eye, we're going to go 2 stitches down from the whisker. So there's 1, 2 stitches, and then we're going to put the eye right there in the 3rd stitch. I'm going to place it between the first and the 2nd whisker. So right around this area here. Then we're going to take the other eye and do the same thing. We're going to go 2 stitches down and then between the first and the 2nd whisker. We're going to count how many stitches are between the eyes, and we have 5. So we're going to put the nose on that 3rd stitch. And I like to place it on the bottom of the eyes. So the top of the nose at the bottom of the eyes. Once the eyes and nose are placed, we're just going to have to glue them on. So now that we have the eyes and nose glued on, we're ready to work on the bow. To make the bow, we're going to start with 8 chains. We're going to make our slip knot, insert our hook, and then make our chains. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We're going to want to remember this 8 chain here, so we're going to put in a stitch marker. And then we're going to do an additional 3 chains to add to our 8 chains. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And now we're going to go back into that 8th chain with a double crochet. So here we're going to yarn over, and then insert our hook into that 8th chain, yarn over, pull through, then yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Then we can remove our stitch marker. And now we're going to do another double crochet in the next stitch. So we're going to yarn over, insert our hook in that next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. And now for that next stitch, we're going to do a half double crochet. We're going to yarn over, insert our hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. And now we're going to do a single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So we're going to do a single crochet, that's our first single crochet. Then we're going into that next stitch with another single crochet. And now we're going to do a half double crochet. We're going to yarn over, insert our hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. And next we're going to do a double crochet. We're going to yarn over, insert our hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through another 2 loops. We're going to yarn over and enter our hook in the next stitch, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2 for our final double crochet in this row. To begin our next row, we're going to make 3 chains. Here's 1, 2, and 3. We're going to now turn our bow over, and then we're going to make a double crochet in this corner stitch where we made our first chain. So we're going to yarn over, insert our hook, and then yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. And then in the next stitch we're going to do another double crochet. So we're going to yarn over, insert our hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. We're going to do another double crochet, yarn over, insert our hook, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. And for our next stitch, we're going to do a half double crochet. We're going to yarn over, insert our hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. And next we're going to do 2 single crochets in the next 2 stitches. There's our first single crochet. Then in the next stitch we're doing another single crochet. Next is a half double crochet. We're going to yarn over, insert our hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Now we're going to do a double crochet. We're going to yarn over, insert it in the stitch, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through another 2 loops. And now we're on our final double crochet. We're going to yarn over, insert our hook into that next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. Now we're done with our bow, and we're just going to finish off our ends. We're going to pull our yarn through, cut the tail, just leaving enough just in case if we want to sew our bow on. Now we're going to take our darning needle and we're going to skip a stitch, then insert our needle into the next stitch, then put it back into that first stitch. We're going to go downwards on it, and now we have that little extra stitch. And then we're going to secure it by sewing it under these stitches. And now we've completed our bow, and all we have to do is make the middle. To make the middle of the bow, we're going to start with a magic circle. And then inside of our magic circle, we're going to put 6 single crochets. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, and then we're going to take our tail and then put all of our stitches together in that magic circle. And once they're all together, we're going to take our hook and place it in that first stitch and then make a slip stitch. And then we're going to cut the tail of our yarn, pull it all the way through, and then since I like to use this side of it, we're just going to take this and then tie it together. I'm going to put the knot on the other side. And then I'm going to take one side of the tail, get a darning needle, then I'm going to take one of the tails and put it on the opposite side of the other tail on the inside loop. And once we have it pulled through, we're ready to tie it on the middle of our bow. And now we have our bow and we have our middle ready, and we're going to tie them together. And now that we're finished with our bow, we're going to attach it to Hello Kitty. Thank you for watching this very long video. If you found it informative, please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments below. Thanks for watching.